Today we're going to talk about heel and toeing. The heel and toeing of a door is very important. If it's not done correctly, you might notice it because you might find that the door handle becomes harder to operate, and eventually over time it may even wear out and stop functioning altogether. This has actually nothing to do with the door mechanism or whether or not the door mechanism is faulty or anything else. It's entirely to do with the way the weight of the glass is held within the door sash. In this video we're going to show you how to properly pack it out at the top and at the bottom to ensure it's properly weighted and ensure your door continues to function. The glass is held in place by wooden beads, and the wooden beads are held in place by small metal nails. If your cabin is already installed, you're going to need to remove these nails to remove the bead in order to extract the glass and change the way it's packed out. If you're installing your cabin for the first time, your windows or doors will come unglazed for you, so just make sure you skip ahead and follow the instructions when we first lift the glass into place. To remove the wooden bead, take a chisel or a small mini crowbar or any sort of flat instrument and begin gently placing it between the door sash and the bead and gently begin prising. Now, you don't want to try and really force it out, as that will damage the soft wood both of the bead and of the door sash. But, oh, there you go, once you get underneath, it becomes a lot easier. When removing a bead, start with the longest piece first, as is the most flex and it's the easiest to remove. Remove all 4 pieces of bead to then lift out the glass. Our objective when we pack the glass into the door sash is to ensure that it is supported both in the top corner furthest away from the hinges and the bottom corner nearest the hinges. The diagram on screen shows you now where you place these packers. You'll have in your selection 5mm bridge packers. These are these black ones, and for more precision you'll also get these 1mm green shims. You might find you need to use different amounts in different places in order to properly brace the glass, but start with a 5mm shim and add in 1mm if you need to in order to hold the glass in place properly. Once all the beading has been removed, the glass will simply push out from the other side, so it can then be lifted carefully out into place. Be very careful when you place the sealed unit down that you don't place it onto any nails or screws that you've removed, and be careful that you score it up against the wall again onto something soft like carpet, as damage to the underside, damage to the glass pane can lead in the future to cracks moving up the initial damage that you may put into the glass. So this corner here, the side nearest the hinges, is where we're going to support the bottom of the sealed unit, of the glass unit. We're going to use one of these 5mm black bridge packers. Place it just there, and we're going to lift the glass unit onto it. I'm now going to take a glazing tool, which is this plastic shovel here, and I'm going to place it underneath there so that I can lift the glass unit using this tool. We're going to lift the sealed unit using the glazing shovel, and that allows us to insert our shims and our packers into the top corner here. Once we release the shovel, the glass unit will hold them in place. We also want to pack out the top, so we can use the shovel to give ourselves a little bit of space in order for us to push them in. It should not be so tight that you find it hard to insert the shims. You need to give yourself a little bit of space occasionally with a glazing shovel, but it should not be so tight in there that it risks damaging the glass. If it was that tight, it would also distort the frame. The glass should be held in tightly, both in the top corner furthest away from the hinges and the bottom corner nearest the hinges, but not so tightly that it distorts the door. After completing the top corner furthest away from the hinges, we're going to come back to this bottom corner here, nearest the hinges. We've already had the packer here, which the sealed unit's resting on. We're just now going to pack out that edge closest to the hinges. I'm just going to use a couple of the 1mm shims here. Now that we have our glass unit properly packed in the corners, we can hold the glass in place with our wooden beading. Unlike when we're deglazing, when we're re-beading, we actually do the biggest lengths first because there's a bit more flexibility in them, so it's a bit easier to squeeze them into place. Initially, you may not even notice a difference between a properly heel and toe doored and one that hasn't been done properly. However, in time it prevents further problems coming up, so it is very important you ensure that it is done correctly.